Now this one I believe was actually a sync, one of those Sync Drop Tuesday events, so I think I was playing the Nicholas in this one. And this is more of a just for fun replay, just because it's very rare to get 17 torp hits in Nicholas. Now it is possible, as you'll see, but it doesn't happen very often because one of the drawbacks of the USDD line is until the Mahan at tier 7, you don't have very good torps. They're always shorter than your detection range. They do reload rather quickly, and you do get quite a few of them, but unless you abuse that by hiding behind an island or hiding in smoke and then shooting torps at people, they're going to see you unless you're doing a suicide run. And it's my favorite game mode in the entire game, Epicenter. And I really do hate this game mode. Considering that you really only win when you've killed every single one of the enemies, so you might as well just make it a straight deathmatch instead of this weird giant capture zone BS. So we do what DDs mostly do on this map, which is we go next to that island, and then see what happens. Now someone has RPF, obviously, so I'm spotted. It's probably Jackhammer with his broken piece of crap, the Fusion, which is basically the Kamikaze, but with a different paint scheme. But I'm not here to judge, except I totally am. So yep, we go to the center to block the cap so they can't have it, and then we see who shows up where. Going to go over there.
Teammate, I need your support.
And the Acosta up there is just kind of doing nothing. And there's New Orleans. So we have some decent firepower going on him, but the New Orleans actually has pretty good AP. As that Furutaka just figured out. Now he's behind the island, so I can't actually shoot him, sadly. Ouch. You also know that another Emerald in the shores over there, so this is not a good flank for us. I'm going to try and spot as best I can, but I can't really do much about these guys without just getting immediately burnt to death. Shores is a very good HE spammer. It's weak against other cruisers, it's so lightly armored, it's armored even worse than the Badione. But against destroyers, it is murder. Same with the chap I have.
Set a smoke screen.
So that Acosta sits there and uses his smoke. So I go ahead and go up a little bit just so I can spot for him. But they are pushing this flank pretty heavily, so he's probably going to die. I'll try and help while I can, though. And now that Shores is going this way, you can see him turning on the map. So I drop my torps right there because he's going to be forced to go past either past this island into my torps, or he's going to have to go forward and into what I thought was fire here, but they ran away, so he could actually have turned in just fine and nothing would have happened. Sadly, he goes faster than I thought he would. So I get in the way and I start shooting HE at him. And right there I switched to AP because the Shores actually has very little armor on its broadside. So at this range it is entirely possible to get Citadels on him. Yep, and we go back to HE because he's now angled. But sadly he disappears because of the smoke. And I don't fancy getting spotted by the Emerald very much, so we'll go ahead and just have to go. And it's going to be sad because our team isn't going to be able to kill the shores the entire game. And as I said, if you have 1 health in the ship, it's just as good as having full health. And that is also going to kind of contribute to why we lose. So I slow down a little bit. And wait until that emerald smokes up so I can actually get out without being spotted. But since he is smoked, I go forward a little bit just so I can launch some cheeky torps at him. Yep, see? We'll do that, and then we'll turn and wait for that plane to go away. And there's the torps. They probably won't hit anything, but hey, they might. And my torps have a really low cooldown anyway. So in this I go back towards the center so I can hopefully help our DDs and cruisers against the enemy DDs because we're losing at the moment. We're losing pretty badly. And I'm going to try to turn the tables.
Engine boost torpedoes direct front.
Yep, and here comes the torps.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Luckily, I think I was in Acosta, and the Acosta doesn't actually shoot torps that far. It's only about 6 kilometers. And there's the Emerald, and I do hit the New Orleans, unfortunately. Yep, and that Shores is out there at 11 kilometers. I can't actually shoot him because my guns don't go far enough, and he's going to live. So right here, we go back towards the center. I saw DD here. I wonder where he is. And I see that Bayern, or that Koenig right there who's coming up. So I go ahead and, there we go. I go ahead and put out torps against him, predictive torps, because he's currently turning in, so I switch him a little further forward than I usually would, or than the white line. The white line is mostly a guide. It's there to show you where they might be. You have to kind of take into account what the enemy is going to do before you actually know where to shoot the torps. White line is only if they keep doing the same thing, and most battleship players, especially at higher tiers, are smart enough not to. And so we're going to get the first 4 of them on him. And it's 4 of the torp hits. And now we have 36k damage. And that's almost, and that Koenig is pretty much dead in almost 1 hit, so I'm going to leave my team to take care of him. And I remember that I don't trust my team at all, so I go ahead and fire some HE. Because I got a flooding. I actually got 2 floodings, and that means he damage controlled. And that means his damage control is going to be on cooldown for at least 60 seconds, if not more. So that means that if we get fire on him, it's a permanent fire that he can't extinguish.
Engine boost deactivated.
But sadly, I don't get any fires. And so I saw there were 2 Byrons over here, so they're trying to do the German rush thing, kind of like how I featured in the last video. Sadly, Acosta goes out too far and takes a torp. So I try and get in position where he was to hopefully torp his Bayern. And then I see that New Orleans right there. Now this part, I'm not exactly sure what happened, so I put out torps against the Bayern. Those are my left-handed torps, by the way. If you look down here, Nicholas has 2 sets. Some on the left and some on the right. The right ones are still fine. So we put them out against him, and then we go ahead and just try and spam against the New Orleans to get some damage. And once again, we switch to AP to try and get some of that broadside damage. But he turns in towards me. And I just get clipped by something, but I'm alright. And I actually get a torp on the New Orleans, which is really good. He's now at 12k. And I also get 2 torps on the Bayern, so that is now 7 torp hits, I think. Yep, and 63k damage. Now the New Orleans has come towards me, and actually, right here, I'm not sure how I'm spotted. Because the New Orleans is right there. He's at 2.5 kilometers away. The detection range, when you get assured detection, is 2 kilometers. Now, if he had 3 kilometer detection, you can only get that as a module at tier 8, though, and he's at tier 7. And I'm in smoke, so I can't be seen by anything else. It might be like the firing thing. It might also take 20 seconds to do that, but regardless, I'm spotted now, and that's not good. Actually, yeah, I think it was if you look at my thing, it's currently doing my, actually, I might not even, oh no, I'm not even smoked, actually. I thought that this line from this part of the point was actually the smoke. Okay, that makes sense. So, he gets nice and close, and I give him a hug. And it is now 9 torps and 70k damage. So then I smoke up. Because, yeah, I see what happened is the British DD smoke dissipated because it was 1 minute. And I thought that the cap line was a smoke line. Oh well. Mystery solved. So now I'm in my own smoke, and American smoke lasts really long. Like 2 minutes. So we're fine for that. And now I have 2 Bayerns to go ahead and farm damage on. Now if I could actually play sound clips on Twitch, I'd start playing the Num 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 song. So there we go. I get 2 torps out on them. So that was my left side torps. My right side's still good. Or my right side is actually going to reload in 11 seconds. Now, I thought this guy was going to turn him more to hit the torps, but sadly he didn't. So, those torps miss. But, 1, 0. So I go ahead and put the torps right there, because the Bayern is going to keep going past the island and probably try and go stern on so he can hopefully not get hit by me. And now there's camp line shooting into the smoke. But I haven't shown them where they are because I haven't fired my guns. And right here we're going to get 3 torp hits, I believe. Or 2. I think it's 3. Yep, 3 torp hits. Flooding, we're now at 89k damage. Now 90 because he's flooding. But he's going to damage control in a minute. And now our torps are about to reload in 6 seconds. Our left-hand torps. And there we go. He disappeared, but I know what trajectory he is, so I fire my torps. And sadly he's going to kill me. But in a second, he's going to die too. And there we go. 133k damage. And that was 17 torp hits, 14 floodings, 22 shell hits, high caliber. I think it's high caliber. And devastating strike. And a tier 5 Nicholas DD. Now it's not going to work because our team is incapable of actually finishing people off. They're not going to be able to kill that Bayern despite the fact he's right there, and that Queen Elizabeth has more than half his HP bar. And of course one of the DDs is still alive. And see Spectre had 169 health left. But luckily the Koenig actually kills him, so I actually should give him some credit on that. But they're not going to be able to kill the Shores, they're not going to be able to kill the Bayern, and we are going to lose this match.